youngsters have started identifying the main cause, the dark reality behind the politics.
सो पॉलिटिक्स जो है वो अभी बस जिस पे ही बात कर रही है वो भी एजुकेशन और करियर पे या फिर एम्प्लॉयमेंट बात नहीं कर रही है, जिसकी वजह से उनको चेंज करना चाहिए और एजुकेशन और एम्प्लॉयमेंट को वहाँ पे लाना चाहिए.
Really suggest the youth that is, they really want to make a difference and they want to participate in the law making process of the country. They have to take up politics as a career option for the betterment of the country.
Namaste and welcome to another brand new episode of Campus. I'm Ashish Pareek. I'm here at the Bennett University campus, and right now we're at an interesting place in the campus. This is called the Hatchery. This is the Bennett Hatchery, where students actually discuss a lot of ideas about startups, about businesses, what else they can do as an alternate career option. But meanwhile, talking of career options, Prime Minister Modi last week made a very interesting statement that actually got me thinking about the career choices that our youngsters are making. Prime Minister Modi spoke about how youngsters in India are now not really taking up politics because they feel that they don't really have a future unless they have a political legacy. And that actually got me thinking, ki you have a lot of students who hit the streets when there's a rape, a psychopathy, a murder. Students step out, the youngsters of the nation step out and they demand change. But these same youngsters, you don't find them in the halls of power. It's a very interesting dilemma for our nation as well. For example, I'm looking at the statistics. The average age of the Indian population is 20 years. And if you look at the average age of the MPs in the current Lok Sabha, it's 56 years. In fact, it's almost twice as much as the voters that are voting for them. So that again raises a big question. Why are India's youngsters not looking at politics as a career option? Why is the political participation of India's youngsters so low, despite them being so active when it comes to activism? Hi, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Ashish Pareek, and I am an MBA student here at Bennett University.
A big question about India's youngsters participating in politics. Prime Minister Modi also spoke about it, encouraged youngsters to come. But why do you think youngsters don't participate that much as far as the political system is concerned?
See, as a youth, I believe youngsters have started identifying the main cause, the dark reality behind the politics. By dark reality, what I mean is involvement of custom, right? And for what cause? Only mobilization of voters. So I think this is the main reason that why youth is entering into the politics.
Okay, there's of course bad, and that's exactly why you enter politics, to ensure that all the things that you don't agree with, you make a change. Do you think our country is perfect?
I don't think so that everything is perfect, and my viewpoint for this is that more youngsters are not participating in politics because of the image of Indian politics which is in their mind. They think it is all about dishonesty, malpractices, and it's a money game which the leaders are having because they have power. And also I think that cherry on the cake is nepotism, which is overpowering the whole talent which our country have. And also I think there is low mentoring about politics in our country. And I think solution for this is we must tell them about their rights and responsibilities, and we also tell them stories about the youngsters which have a powerful impact besides of these old nepotism traditional aspects.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Kanak. I'm second year MBA student.
Okay. So, would you consider politics a career?
Yes, I consider it a good career because youngsters have energy and different perspective and creative mindset that they can bring out to develop our country to another level.
Okay. You spoke of nepotism, and that's also something that the Prime Minister spoke about. Do you think it acts as a deterrent? Because a lot of people think, okay, if we step into politics, we need to have a good political background, we need to have lots of money, good people don't survive in politics. The sort of image that's been created. Do you think that also keeps the youth away?
It is true because if I say that it is a delusion with the politics. We heard the word politics, what come in our mind? Politics is a bad image, corruption, nepotism, plus rally, a lot of money involved in a game. So if we say that how we truly represent our country if a young perspective is not adding to it, and young thinks that politics is not a good game because according to the survey of the youth survey, around 60% of the Indians think politicians are doing work because they are interested in their own sake, not for the citizen of the country. So yes, so nepotism, it is a delusion that we have in our mind. even because we are interested also. You can see the digital activism we do. Anything bad happen, we raise our voices. But we don't go on a mainstream because we think that politicians is not a game we should be in.
Okay, so it's an image that has been created about politics. What's your name?
My name is Aryan Goyal and I'm a second year MBA student.
So you spoke about the problems with politics, but it has to change. I mean, people demand change, students demand change. Who's going to make change? It's going to be the students, because at the end of the day, when you are out there protesting and raising concerns about the youth of the nation, what the youth thinks, the people who are actually making the laws are much older. Their aspirations, their ideas of India might be much different. So how do you think the youth can actually make a change? How do the youth actually enter the system?
सो पॉलिटिक्स जो है वो बस रिलीजियस पे ही बात कर रही है, वो भी एजुकेशन और करियर पे फिर एम्प्लॉयमेंट पे बात नहीं कर रही है, जिसकी वजह से उनको चेंज करना चाहिए और एजुकेशन और एम्प्लॉयमेंट को वहाँ पे लाना चाहिए.
लेकिन जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट के बारे में बात कर, जो एजुकेशन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, वो पॉलिटिक्स में नहीं जा रहे. जो इलेक्ट होके ऑलरेडी बैठे हुए अंदर, वो उनकी बातें नहीं कर रहे. जो बातें कर रहे हैं वो बाहर है, तो फिर वो जो बाहर है वो अंदर जाए.
आई थिंक उनको भी अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू डालना चाहिए इस पे कि आप मतलब अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट ख़त्म करो, एम्प्लॉयमेंट लाओ और एजुकेशन के लिए और भी चीज़ें प्रोवाइड कि मंदिर या फिर कुछ ऐसे रिलीजियस बनवाओ, आप स्कूल, हॉस्पिटल और या फिर कॉलेज वगैरह ये सब आप बिल्ड करो.
Okay. All right. Very interesting points here coming in as well. Have you ever considered politics as a career option?
Well, frankly speaking, no, because again, as we've been discussing, that it requires a lot of financial support as well as a political legacy, and that can be a very big challenge in getting into politics. And me personally, no, I would not consider it, but I would really suggest the youth that is, they really want to make a difference and they want to participate in the lawmaking process of the country, they have to take up politics as a career option for the betterment of the country.
But do you think it's just a perception that's been created that you need a lot of money and a political legacy? You look at the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, where did he start from? You look at the President, Draupadi Murmu, where did she start from? Both of them did not have a political legacy, didn't start from a very rich background as such. They've still made it big. So I think it's just a perception that has been created about politics?
Well, yeah, in a way it is a perception. This is a very broad subject that needs to be acknowledged, and I really appreciate the Prime Minister's thing that he said that one youth can actually, without any legacy, can go up to politics and make a career around it. So maybe this new day and age we can think about it.
All right. Also, at a very young age, this is something that needs to be inculcated at a very young age. I mean, you talk about someone taking politics as a career option when they're older. That's much more difficult. Do you think at the school level, at the college level, there needs to be some sort of program, some sort of an initiative that also needs to be brought in so that students actually look at politics not just as a business, but as a career option where they can actually contribute to the nation?
Of course, like we lead syllabus in our school that actually promote taking part in the politics as a whole, because we are not technically encouraged to be like politicians very much. So we should be encouraged in schools, but also the thing is that we need a very financial background for that, because you cannot just win elections. It is not an easy task. You need more than talent. You need the people support and everything. So it's a very big gamble people are doing. They are putting their whole lives on it that we will win. But if we won't, we need a financial background that we can sustain ourselves.
Okay, but it's also not only about elections. For example, the finance minister of our nation, she didn't fight elections just, but she is still the finance minister. So a perception that for you to be a politician, you need to have a lot of money, you need to fight elections, you need to win big, you need to do a lot of things that you are not supposed to do. Do you think that perception also keeps the youth up?
I would say yes, sir, but I would say one of the basic things that the youth should have, it should be how to voice an opinion. You know, if you have connections, if you have some kind of financial backing, you'll make it higher into the political stage, but you have to have that dedication, that voice, that I can, keep my point a firm point. So
Correct.
that should
But
be.
you also see a lot of politicians with a lot of money, a lot of backing, but they don't, at the end of the day, it's the people that choose. And if you are someone that have an honest intention, someone that actually has the brains to make changes, people will choose you.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right. So, again, a very interesting point that is being raised here by a lot of students, the fact that politicians need a lot of financial backing, and that's one of the things that keeps the students away. A lot of changes need to be brought in the country. We saw what happened happened at Kolkata now, the doctors that were protesting, all were young doctors across the nation as well. But when we actually look at the people who are supposed to make the changes, make the laws, these are not young people. So why are young people lacking in positions of power?
The main concern that I feel is the lack of awareness of politics as a job opportunity, which is not being educated in the grassroots levels, that is the schools and universities. And it's seen more as like a business risk that people take as politics as a profession. There is no actual standing when you take the job. And I do feel that the youth has a lot of opinions about these global domestic matters of our country, but it's the knowledge and uncertainty that they have while expressing these kinds of concerns.
Okay. Right now, we are at the Bennett Hatchery. This is where you talk about startups, new business ideas and everything. And you think the problem is that we look at politics as just a game of gathering votes, not as a platform where you can actually have an idea to change the nation, you propagate, you market that idea to the people and actually get votes. Do you think that's a problem, the way we look at politics?
I think, of course, the way we look at it and the way we propagate it over the years through digital media is quite one of the reasons why the youth is not getting into it. But I think the more major reason, what I feel, is the job crisis that India is in. So Forbes recently told us almost the unemployment rate of males in India has risen to 7.8% above 2023. So I think that's a major concern. And until the government actually puts in some policies for unemployment and to get jobs for the youth, they will not even see politics as an opportunity because they're not secure in their own life. Yeah.
And what are the changes you think we need to do to get good young politicians? Because at the end of the day, what we look at is that you have youngsters in politics, but they're pretty much the old rehashed version of the politicians that are already there. There's nobody with a new idea, with a new, idea for a change of the nation. So what do you think needs to be done to have youngsters that actually think about new ideas and new ways to reform the country?
See, I feel number one that of course a platform should be given, okay, wherein you can raise your concerns, you can raise your voice. Like today, social media is booming, right? You have a lot of influence. You have like YouTube is one, Instagram is one. Like, so number one, I think the social media should be used.
Do you think the problem is a lot of people today, youngsters today, are just social media activists? You put up a story, you put up a post, and you think, okay, this is going to change the nation. But the problem is when you actually step on the streets, you ask questions directly to those in power. Do you think that's also missing?
Yeah, see, that's what I was just going to say. Ki today, we as the youth, right, we are okay. We raise our voice, okay, whatever the thing is. But when it comes to taking on the responsibility, right, it's very easy to take out any loopholes or something. But when it comes to your own responsibility, you can also be a change, right? Nobody is willing to do that. It's maybe now there are a lot of factors to it, but this is the main concern, right? If this mindset changes, I feel that is where you can have like more participation of youth and that's how.
So again, a very important question: how do we transition from social media activism, where you just put up posts, you put up stories, you write long essays and paragraphs complaining about what are the issues, to actually youngsters participating in the democracy and being in position of power so that they can actually make changes?
Okay, I feel like for every job or every industry, we are taught like if you do this, you'll get into this industry. And for politics, we have zero knowledge. If me, my colleague, or anyone want to get into politics, we have zero idea how to get into. And not taught how to cross-question people who are in authority. So I think we need to be taught in school, university, or on ground level that cross-question people who are in authority, and we need a platform which can teach us to get into politics and more about the government.
What sort of platform? Do you have any ideas for it?
Maybe classes, what is politics and how to get into, like right now the politics is all about vote and money and fame. Okay, three things. But government should be about the country, the people. So I think we need to shift the focus of youth from these three factors to people and job.
Okay, very interesting point that you made there. It is about the mindset. I'll ask you about the mindset again, because one of your friends here was saying that from a very young age, we are not taught to question those in power. And that's one of the reasons why we don't really think about taking politics as a career option, because we think, okay, those who are in power, they are going to do what they have to do. We don't really have to question it. Do you think the mindset also needs to change from a very young age?
So more than the mindset, I would say the image or the perception we have as of now of politics. With the advent of social media, so much information coming in, it's everything that I read about politics is just game or it's polarization or it's corruption. So mere man mein, it's like, why should I go into politics when it's such negativity all around? So more than mindset, it's the information we are consuming and the perception we have. So that definitely needs to change.
Absolutely. The perception game. For example, every time you hear about a politician, it's either corruption scandal, him attacking someone else, or political bickering, political slugfest. How do we change?
Sir, I think definitely since we are hearing all these things are true, and to change that, I would definitely say as in the narrative should be different perceptions, probably that like changing the perspective of these politicians as well. It can be not to the extent that it becomes controversial, but to the extent that okay, let's change, let's think about some a different perspective in general. So
Okay. Do you think it's also about us as a society being scared of the things that we don't understand? For example, you do an engineering degree, you do your masters, where you're going to land up, you have an idea about where you could end up. But when you take politics up, you're not sure where you could end up. You could be the prime minister of the nation, or you could just be a nobody for a very long time. So do you think that also plays a factor, that people don't really know, uncertainty of the career in politics?
Yeah, definitely. I think politics is definitely very power-centric and it's all about power play. But if we talk about politics as a career option, I think definitely there's this factor that you don't know where you belong. You don't know where, as you said, you're either going to be the prime minister or you're going to be just no one, just probably MLA or just sarpanch from some village. And yeah, that's what I had to say. I think definitely it plays a vital role, that what your aim is regarding people, what you want to do for people. I think that youth needs to really understand that. And
Absolutely. It needs to understand that you're also part of the youth. For you, for example, to take politics as a career, what would be the incentive? What would be that one thing that you'd look at and be like, okay, I'm now getting into politics?
Politics actually is everywhere, in every field, in every industry, everywhere. I remember when I was growing up, whenever there was a clash between two political parties, they used to coin it as politics. Politics was regarded as a negative term. And while growing up, when I've experienced some situations like there is nepotism and all. So that is also coined as politics only. So there's politics everywhere, and it's just about how a leader puts out his idea, his or her ideas, and how they implement those things. But when you take out those, go on those roads where you take support of the money laundering and all that black stuff, that's where you fail in politics. That's the politics that is regarded as the dirty politics that comes into play.
Very interesting. Now, this is a different view that I got here. One of my friends here was saying that from a very young age, he's always seen or heard of the politics in a negative manner. It's never been about positive. Like, no one said that politics is changing the nation. It's about how politics is ruining the nation. Politicians are spoiling the country. Do you think that needs to change? The fact that politics can be a way to change the nation and not just ruin the nation, as a lot of people believe from a very young age?
I think my group here was talking about social media and how it creates echo chambers. We were talking about that. And I think, the youth of today is on social media a lot. They get their opinions, they get what to think from social media. Right now, the Kolkata case, it blew up on social media and it's led to a lot of activism. Of course, that's the positive side. But I think the very fact that the echo chambers are created, social media is a very leftist placed. So the very concept of a ruling government is what's negative about the political infrastructure right now. People want to go anti-establishment because there is no regulation on social media as such right now. There is no policy change. And coming back to the point about the job thing, that requires policy change, and so does the digital space to further any type of argument or discussion on politics.
I feel like the negative mindset on the word politics itself is due to the fact that we see these kinds of negative politic mindsets in our societies, in our communities, in our student bodies as well, and it creates a negative. It creates the offsetting and not getting into that kind of scenario, and it creates a very bad work around the word. So I think that needs to change on the grassroots level, so that on the national level as well, people start getting into politics.
Absolutely. People get into politics, I think that's exactly what is needed. As a youngster yourself, what do you think has to be done so that people start considering politics as an option? Because now what happens is, a lot of people who probably think they have influence, they have money, they naturally transition into the political roles and all that. A lot of people actually, you look at talking about a lot of things, activism and everything, don't really get into politics, or they don't get into places of power. So what changes do you think has to be done to get youth involved in the political system?
According to me, the education plays a very vital role in this. A good education can lead to a good political career, because the education is the only key which can get you a good career. Not only in the politics, it either can be in anything. So getting a good education from a good institute, from a good mentors, it help you a lot.
Like, sir, major political parties have their youth wings as well, like Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha and Indian Youth Congress. They both are promoting that youth should involve in the politics as well. Like, they have different mindset, different opinions, so they can be helpful for the country's overall development as well.
But why do you think there's an age gap? Like I mentioned, the average age of the MPs in Lok Sabha is 56. Now, when you look at the average age of the people in India, it's 28. Again, a lot of people who protest, like for example, the Kolkata horror, a lot of youngsters on the street. The people who are demanding change, their age is not the same as the people who are actually making the change. Do you think the age difference, the generation gap plays a role?
Yes, sir, generation gaps also plays a role. A survey was conducted by Ahmedabad. So it was found that 62% of youth doesn't feel that they have time to involve in the politics. And talking about my personal example, like I've done my intern recently, so politics was only concerned or talked about during the lunch hours, not on the regular basis. So I believe that there's a age gap as well.
Absolutely. So this is now, of course, the voice of the youth from the Bennett University campus here. The youth are talking about how the word politics has always been associated with a negative connotation since their very younger age, and that could be one of the reasons why politics is viewed as a very negative career option, and also the uncertainties of politics as well, contributing to the fear of the youth joining politics. We'll be joining you back next week with another topic on Campus Mirror. Stay tuned.